Hello, little hawks. My name is Miss Leilani.
And I'm Miss Mary.
And today our lesson is going to be reading this book called Pumpkin Town. Now, we have some vocabulary words for you guys, and you're going to be seeing these throughout the book, so I hope you guys pay attention so you can catch them. The first vocabulary word is town. The second is seeds. The third is pumpkin. And last is watermelon. Now, we're going to get started, so I hope you guys are listening. Pumpkin Town. Jose and his family grew pumpkins. That growing began with shiny seeds, which were followed by long vines, and those vines grew every which way. You can see, look, they're going in all different types of directions. The pumpkins grew every which way too, from small to fat and tall. The Jack Be Littles could be dropped into pockets. The Happy Jacks were bigger. A strong enough boy could carry just one. The Big Moons were bigger still, too large for the 5 boys to roll. See, that's the Big Moon. It's huge, isn't it? That's the Happy Jacks. It's big, but not as big as the Big Moons. And then these are the little Jack Be Littles. They're so tiny. Come fall, Jose and his family would gather the pumpkins and collect the vines. Then 2 trucks took the fruit to faraway cities. Some were hollowed and carved, and some were saved for pies. Do you guys eat pumpkin pie? I think it's really good. But before the trucks took the pumpkins, Jose and his family saved a few. They needed the seeds. When it came to saving pumpkins, Jose's father always said, "Save only the best and sell the rest." See? They saved all these pumpkin seeds. So Jose and his brothers hollowed the best pumpkins and saved only the biggest, brightest seeds. Do you see the seeds? They took the duller, smaller seeds to the edge of the field overlooking the town and tossed them. But one gusty, dusty October day, when Jose and his brothers took the lesser seeds to the edge of the field and flung them, the wind caught those seeds and carried them and didn't let them loose until they fell like rain down on the distant town. Do you see? The seeds are falling. Can you see that? The seeds slipped into straw roofs and settled into flower pots and sprinkled gardens. And that seemed to be the end of it. Oh, what's going to happen, you guys? But the next spring, rain awoke those small seeds and plants began. More rain fell and vines grew every which way. They wrapped around the chimneys and wound through corn. At first, the townspeople liked the vines, for they were lovely and delicate. But then the vines began to climb, up and down and around, growing leafy and thick. They snaked green and silent through one window, then out the other. Do you see that? The vines are going everywhere. What's going to happen to this town? Then fruit grew and grew and grew every which way. Soon, the townspeople were stepping over pumpkins and around pumpkins and under pumpkins. It was hard to even walk a block. That seems very difficult, you guys. Rooftops sagged under the weight of big moons. Fences fell, and when the wind blew, one had to dodge Happy Jacks and Jack Be Littles falling from trees. Nothing is worse than pumpkins, groaned the townspeople. Do you see? They're practically covered in pumpkins. These poor townspeople. I hope they'll be all right. Meanwhile, up on their mountainside, Jose and his family cut and stacked their pumpkins, saving only the best. And when they were done, they stepped back and said, "Nothing is better than pumpkins." But when Jose and his family looked down at the town, it looked odd. It seemed so green and orange. Do you see? The town is orange. Since their fieldwork was done, and because Jose and his brothers were curious, they walked to town the next day, where they saw more vines and pumpkins than they'd ever imagined. They remembered the gusty, dusty day that they scattered the seeds. "It's our fault," whispered Jose. "We must do something," whispered his brothers. "We rest for now," whispered Jose. Do you think Jose and his family are going to help the townspeople? If they are, I wonder how they're going to do that. But that night, Jose and his brothers cut and stacked the pumpkins and vines. They worked as quietly as they could, but some townspeople still sneaked peeks. They marveled at how well the brothers worked. The brothers climbed up poles and twined through trees and snaked silent through one window and out another, gathering and stacking pumpkins and vines. See, this brother's upside down. They must be really, really good at their job. When the townspeople awoke, they discovered a mountain of pumpkins and a hill of vines and a mound of tired brothers. Look at how tall this big hill of pumpkins are. That's a lot of pumpkins, you guys. While the brothers slept, the townspeople filled the wagon with hay and set 5 great watermelons between Jose and his brothers. In thanks for their aid, that wagon took the brothers back to their home, where they were laid in the glossy grass, still sleeping. Look, they must have been really, really tired if they're still asleep after all of that. When their father found them there, he asked them what they had done to deserve the great watermelons. "We just helped the townspeople with their harvest," the brothers said, which was true, and nothing more was said. Look, Jose's father looks a bit confused. Down in the town, 5 trucks came for the mountain of pumpkins, and the townspeople were given a grand sum of money for all that fruit. "Ah, nothing is better than pumpkins," they said. Much of the money went toward the feast, held around a bonfire made by burning the hill of vines. It was decided then that the rest of the pumpkin money would be spent to carve a statue of the mysterious brothers who had made a mountain of pumpkins. Do you see? That's one family. Looks like they got a lot of money for the pumpkins. It took all of the next week for the townspeople to repair their roofs and their fences, and it took all of that week for Jose and his brothers and his father to eat their great gifts. The melons were so sweet that Jose and his family said, "Nothing is better than watermelons." See? I'm getting kind of hungry. Maybe I'll eat some watermelons. "Be careful with the seeds," Jose's father said. "Our field grows pumpkins, not watermelons." So Jose's family filled a great bowl with seeds, and those seeds were forgotten until a day later when the wind rose Jose's father at night. What's he doing up? He feared that some of those watermelon seeds might be blown into their field. Do you see? That's the wind. And then these are the seeds. Looks like they're about to fall into the farm. We can't have that. By moonlight, he carried the bowl to the edge of his field and he tossed the seeds. You guys, what do you think is going to happen since he tossed the seeds? The wind caught those seeds and carried them and didn't let them loose until they fell like rain down on the town. It's happening again, you guys. Oh no. The watermelon seeds slipped into straw roofs and settled into flower pots and sprinkled gardens and slid into the soil around the statue of Jose and his brothers. And that seemed to be the end of it. All right, you guys. Oh, that is the end of the story. Now, what do you guys think is going to happen now that the watermelon seeds did the same thing as the pumpkin seeds? Do you think that maybe it's going to happen again, but this time with watermelons? Oh, the town has got some trouble coming. Now, You guys remember our vocabulary words, right? Like town and maybe watermelon. We saw all of these words in the book, right? I know we did. I hope you guys now know what these words mean. All right, you guys. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope you had a great time like I did. Did you have a great time, Miss Marilena?
Had a great time.
I absolutely love that book. I will see you guys soon. Bye.
Bye.